Okay, 6th grade, welcome to Mini Math Lessons with Mrs. Mershman. Today we are talking about dividing with 2-digit divisors. What that means is you're going to have a number that you have to divide up by another number that has 2 digits. So thinking back to 5th grade, we talked about the 4 steps to division where you divide, multiply, subtract, and then bring down. We're going to follow that same 4-step process, but we're going to talk about what happens when you have 2 digits as part of your divisor. So the first example that I have for you comes from the packet that I passed out on Wednesday, which by the way is due on Monday. The first and second problem is actually a little bit different than the example. What's different about the first problem is you're going to have a 0 in the quotient. So what that means is you're going to get something that's not divisible by your divisor of 48. My original problem says 9,853 divided by 48. So what I would do first is I would take a look at this problem, and I'm going to ask myself, since I have 2 digits in my divisor, how many times can that number, in this case 48, go into the first 2 digits that make up the dividend? So I'm asking myself, how many times does 48 go into 98? One way I can do that is using estimation, and I'm going to use numbers that are really easy for me to estimate. 48 is close to 50, and 98 is close to 100. I know 50 goes into 100 2 times. So to check, I'm going to take 48, and I'm going to multiply it by 2 to see if I can get it to go into 98 without going over. 48 times 2 gives me 96. So I know I can take my 2 and place it above the 8. That's step divide. Now I multiply 48 times 2. That's what I did right here. And I get 96. Next step says I have to subtract. So I'm going to take 98 minus 96, which leaves me with 2 left over. 4th step to division says I have to bring down. What bring down means is that I need to take the next digit that I have inside the dividend and bring it down. I just drop it right down next to whatever I had left over. And in this case, I get the number 25. So right here where I have 25, I go back to the beginning to step 1 where it says divide. I know that 48 does not go into 25 without going over. So what I have to do is put a 0 in the quotient because it doesn't go into 25. So now I multiply. 48 times 0 is 0. I subtract, and I have 25 left over again. Drop down my 3. Now I have 253. 253 is what I am going to divide by 48. So I ask myself, how many times does 48 go into 253? So what I would do is I would probably estimate again, and I would say, okay, I know that 48 is close to 50, and 253 is close to 250. So the easy math problem, or the estimate that I can do in my head, is how many times does 5 go into 25? And I know that that's 5. So I would start out by checking, what's 48 times 5? Again, I picked 5 because that was the estimation I did in my head to see about how many times this number can go into 253. 48 times 5 ends up giving me 240. Quick review on multiplication. You multiply 8 times 5, which gives you 40. You carry that forward, bring down your 0. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 gives you 24. So now I can go over here and subtract. First, I'm going to put a 5 on top of 3, because 48 goes into 253 5 times. Next, I take 48 times 5, I get 240, subtract, and I end up with 13 left over. Since I don't have anything else to bring down, I know that I am at the end of the problem. 13 is less than 48, so I'm good to go. I can use that as my remainder. 205 with a remainder of 13 is the answer for number 1. Now number 2 is a little bit different. In problem number 2, I have 2,789 divided up by 36. In this problem, I run into my first 2 digits, or my 2 digits for my divisor are 36. First 2 digits of the dividend are 27. 36 does not go into 37. 36 does not go into 27 without going over. So what ends up happening is you have to go to the next place value and you have to divide these 3 digits by the 2 digits in your divisor. So now I'm asking myself, how many times does 36 go into 278? So if I'm doing this again as kind of a quick estimation, what should I multiply by, how many times is it going to go in? What I would probably do is take 36 and round that up to 40. And then I would take 278 and I would round that up to 280. So I know in my head, here's my little thought bubble, I know that 40 would go into 287 times. Now, 4 goes into 28 7 times. 4 times 7 is 28. That's why I'm using 7. So I'm going to take 36, and I'm going to try multiplying it by 7. And when I do that, I want to make sure that I get a number that's close to 278 without going over. So when I take 36 times 7, I get 42. 6 times 7 is 42. 21 plus 4 gives me 25. So I know that 36 can go into 278 7 times. I subtract what I multiplied, 278 minus 252. When I subtract, I have 26 left over. Now I can drop down to 9, and I have the number 269, which needs to be divided by 36. I'll take 269, ask myself how many times does 36 go into 269. I know it goes in 7 times. Look over here, 36 times 7 is 252. That's pretty close to 269. Subtract it. And I have 17 left over. So the answer here is 77 with a remainder of 17. Good luck on the rest of the math problems. Thank you for watching Mini Math Lessons with Mrs. Mershman.